R.I.P. Twitter.
Yeah.
That's a thing now.
Do I really care? No.
No, I actually, strangely would love to see Twitter die.
Well, I mean,
the
only reason I actually use it at all is because there's a lot of people I talk to on there.
That's true.
Otherwise, you know what? Don't care.
So this is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Welcome back to Clownfish TV. We're doing things out of order here, but that's okay. We're going to talk about Twitter. Mm-hmm. Jack Dorsey stepped down as CEO suddenly the other day, and everybody was like, oh, let's have a party. Twitter's going to change for the better. No.
Got way worse.
No, it's not going to. In fact, the new CEO seems like he's even more batshit than Jack Dorsey. Nobody seems to know what is going on.
Yeah, it's funny. They make these nebulous announcements. Everybody loses their shit. Now they're trying to backpedal, and it's talking in circles.
Yeah, and Twitter stock is dropping off a cliff. It never was that great to begin with, but
it's the year low.
It's, yeah.
And it looks like it's dropping more after hours.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, this isn't good. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about the big news that the new CEO is banning posting photos and videos of people without their consent.
Well, if you leave Twitter now, it's because you're an Insta-phobic person.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Now, they did kind of clarify some of the rules.
They need to, because their original statement was like, what?
Yeah, and I don't know what the hell is going on. Nobody seems to know what the hell is going on.
Nobody knows. I think they're just making up as they go now. Like, oh, shit, damage control.
I think that there probably is some political element to this. I mean, the fact that Jack Dorsey is getting gone as quickly as he is, and it's kind of like Disney. He's leaving, and then he's going to stick around the board for a while.
Right, but here's what's weird. Like, when Disney changed, it was like nothing drastic was done right away. Like, and Chapek was still there and stuff, or Iger was still there helping Chapek. He comes in and just makes all these wild changes right off the bat, like boom, change.
Yeah, and this comes a couple of weeks after they rolled out Twitter Blue, which I don't think landed the way that they were hoping it was going to.
It seems like he had some inkling, or he was real quick to make changes as soon as he got in there.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 243,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We've been talking about Twitter because Twitter is ground zero for cancel culture. 95% of the time, if a celebrity or a business or somebody's getting canceled, it originates on Twitter. So Twitter announced yesterday, I mean, we're talking day one for this new CEO, that they were going to ban photos and videos of people without their consent. And of course, the first thing people thought of was, oh, okay, this seems like they're trying to stop people from outing activists or, rioters.
First thing I thought of is, how are you supposed to use GIFs or GIFs or however you want to say it? How are you supposed to use it? Because you don't have their consent.
Well, you have to buy the NFT.
That's right. And suddenly they have, Twitter has a bunch of, investments in NFTs or something.
Yeah, well, they're pushing Bitcoin over there. So yeah, you can buy the
That was my first thought.
Yeah, you can buy the NFT of the guy eating popcorn, right? Or get the express permission of the Jackson family to use Michael Jackson.
I know, I put it up and I was like, am I going to get banned for this? Anyway.
So we'll talk about this, and we're going to talk about the RIP Twitter party, I guess, over on Forbes. New York Post, Twitter bans posting photos, videos of people without their consent. Twitter's new boss has made his first move. We're talking day one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is really weird. Like, it was all planned already.
This guy's name is, I think it's Parag Agrawal.
I have no idea. Sorry if we're butchering your name. We really don't mean to.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's watching this video.
Well, you never know.
His name.
We have some reach.
His name is new Twitter CEO.
Well, don't you know, according to some of these people on Twitter, that we control everything? So of course he is.
He announced on Tuesday it's revising its privacy policy to block the sharing of photos and videos of people without their consent. Sharing personal media such as images or videos can potentially violate a person's privacy and may lead to emotional or physical harm. So this is their blog post. I know that they were actually getting a lot of backlash from Twitter users. We're like, well, this disproportionately affects this minority community because of whatever. Twitter, you're being racist.
Okay, here. The misuse of private media can affect everyone, but can have a disproportionate effect on women, activists, dissidents, and members of the minority community. So basically, we don't want this shared because we're protecting these people, which are activists, minority communities, the people who tend to lean leftist on Twitter.
So if you are video videotaping. I almost said tape. That's how old I am. If you were going to, get some video footage of, say, some activists overturning a police car or something, and they're not celebrities, you're not allowed to put that on Twitter.
Right, because we don't want, that way the narrative can stay well controlled the entire time. But, what about activists? Well, this is what gets me. I have seen some of the most toxic shit I've ever seen over people who don't agree with some of these extreme left people. And no, I'm not saying the extreme right's innocent, because I've seen some real bad shit on that side too. I'm not going to lie.
Different flavor of crazy.
Yeah, they're both wrong and bad. But on Twitter especially, you see, I've seen people get told to kill themselves because they didn't color a cartoon right. Yeah. And then when you try to say, it's a running joke now, if you try to correct someone's batshit behavior, you can't tell me anything because I'm a minor and I'm neurodivergent or diverse, whatever the hell they're calling it. And it's a running joke at this point. So who are you protecting? Because I've gotten threats and shit myself.
Yeah.
As a woman, are you going to now ban every person who threatens me?
So on the surface, it sounds like they're trying to protect people from being doxxed on Twitter, but that's already...
Well, you shouldn't be doxing people.
That's already a violation of Twitter rules anyway.
You shouldn't do that anyway.
It sounds like this is a loophole to keep potentially damaging video and photos.
So people might see it and get a wrong idea or opinion that certain people wouldn't want you to have when it comes election time.
Yes, this could lead to wrongthink, and wrongthink leads to wrong choices, and we always want to make good choices.
The media will tell you what that needs to be.
Yes, listen to the media.
And sometimes they're right, and a lot of times they're wrong.
Anyway, what's in violation of this policy? Home addresses or physical location information.
I agree with that.
Yeah, street addresses, GPS coordinates, or other identifying information. Again, on the surface, it sounds like this is to keep people from being doxxed.
I would agree with that completely.
Identity documents, government-issued IDs, and
100% agree with that, too.
Yeah, you don't want that. But again, this already, I think, is covered. You're not allowed to put that stuff on Twitter anyway. Contact information, including non-public personal phone numbers and email addresses.
I agree with that, too.
Financial account information.
I agree with that, too, though.
Bank accounts and credit card details, like, payments to Epstein.
Well, so far, I'm not seeing how this is just in defense of women and minorities.
No.
Anyway.
Other private information, biometric data, or medical records.
Again, you shouldn't be posting that anyway. I agree with that.
Okay, so this is what is in violation. Other behavior. Threatening to publicly expose someone's private information.
Well, then why didn't you do anything to stop it when people do it to me all the time?
Yes, we do. We actually do get threats on Twitter, especially DMs, sharing information that would enable individuals to hack or gain access to someone's private information.
I agree with all of this so far.
Asking for or offering a bounty or financial reward in exchange for posting someone's private information. Wow, that's
special kind of crazy.
Well,
I agree with that.
I agree with doing it?
No, I agree with that this should be permitted. Or not permitted. You know what I mean? I'm tired.
Journalists often, and news outlets often offer bounties to get information on people.
For real?
Yes.
That's nuts. I think all I knew of was that one person, they were trying to get their family members or something and a picture so they get information on them. And I forget who it was some celebrity. But that's insane. And don't do that. That's shit.
So blackmail, asking for a bounty or financial reward in exchange for not posting someone's private information.
Yeah, so far I agree with all these.
All of this stuff I thought was already covered.
So I'm not understanding. How is this misuse of the media disproportionately affecting these groups? Because it's shit and you shouldn't be using that anyway.
Well, again, disproportionate effect on women, activists, dissidents, and members of minority communities. So basically, don't take video of activists who could potentially be identified.
But that's not what it said on there. I mean, other than saying that without the permission. Yeah. I mean, when you go to the breakdown, that's not one of the things specifically listed.
Twitter said this is to enforce the new policy. It's going to require a first-person report of the photo, video in question from an authorized representative. So basically, hey, that's my face. Oh, look, I'm spray painting a police car. That's, not good. After we receive a report, that particular media will be reviewed before any enforcement action is taken. Notably, the policy does not apply to media featuring public figures.
Well, it wasn't so obvious.
Yeah, or individuals when media and accompanying tweet text are shared in the public interest or add value to public discourse.
Who determines?
Twitter does.
That's what I'm saying.
Twitter does. Of course, they have to go through and disclaim it because they got a lot of pushback. Actually,
People were leaving. It was,
people were already
their
leaving
stocks
Twitter.
tanking.
Yeah, so that leads us to the
Dog and cat videos, living together. No, sorry.
dogs and cat videos. That's on
Living
OnlyFans.
together. Yeah.
Over at pussybark.com.
You don't have to be lonely at pussybark.com.
Woof, woof, meow. Takes all kinds. Whatever your kink is.
Don't do that ever. Anyway.
Oh, God, it's better than gerbilbutt.com.
Don't even.
Okay, so anyway, they have to explain themselves because, the
People lost their shit.
Twitter tribunal, some of the comments yesterday were pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, Twitter, you're actually making it worse for minorities and women, and it's disproportionately affecting.
Because they want to go on there and dox people, and now you're telling them
they can't dox people. Oh my God. Oh my God. So yeah, RIP Twitter. Trending as Jack Dorsey steps down and some vow to leave service for Getter. And this was before they implemented this policy. What's going to happen is, we're talking day one with this new CEO. What's going to happen in month one, year one,
Well, if the stock doesn't go up soon, he's not going to be here and at the end of year one.
I don't think there's any saving Twitter. I had a glimmer of hope when Dorsey stepped down because the best years for Twitter were the years he wasn't there, from like 2009 to 2015.
Oh, I have no hope for Twitter because after Tumblr went down, all that shit went over to Twitter. There was no saving Twitter.
So what is the alternative? If Facebook is bad and Twitter is bad and YouTube keeps
Well, there is an
cracking
alternative.
down.
Don't tell these people because they'll just go run into that.
Yeah, right? DM us and tell us where to go.
No, don't do that.
Oh, no, I know what's going to happen. People are like, Clownfish, you can go to hell where you belong because you didn't like She-Ra.
Make sure you do it on Twitter so we can get you banned.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, RIP Twitter trending as Jack Dorsey steps down. I would say this is pretty appropriate.
Refresh it again. Has it gone down more after hours?
I think we're at 42.83. Yeah, it's flatlining. That's not good. So Forbes is covering it. So a lot of people were leaving. I've decided to leave Twitter because I believe the company is ready to move on from its founders, he said. That's why he left. No,
I don't think
there's
that's
something
what's
else.
going on at all.
There is something else. Oh, Dorsey stepping down means Twitter is finally getting a full-time CEO.
Well, that's not untrue.
Oh, God. So anyway, most users, most social networks don't know and probably don't care who's in charge. No, but they're going to care when they start making all these changes.
Well, that's the problem.
Adding all these
the
rules.
social networks, that's just it. They come in here and then it starts becoming about political leanings and what you can and can't say and what's protected and what's not. And then they try to argue, well, we're a private company, we can do what we want, and all other crap. And what it boils down to, and I'm just going to say it, what it boils down to is usually how can we control the narrative and, protect certain people of certain leanings over other people of other leanings.
Well, it's pretty interesting and pretty ironic that Twitter is blue, the logo is blue, and then like Parler is red. Because that's basically where the line's been drawn. Social media.
It's so stupid. And then if you're in the middle, you're just like, what the hell's wrong with both of you?
We should.
Which is where we're at. Like, you're all full of shit.
We need like purple.
That's what we need. We need a
Mauve.
purple, yeah.
Mauve. Come to mauve. Mauve? Is that how it's pronounced? Uh-huh. I thought it was like maud.
No, I think it's
mauve.
I think that's what, yeah, I got a
all these years I've been pronouncing it wrong.
It's like mauve or mave or something. That's not mave, it's like mauve. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If you go look up how to pronounce it.
Anyway, we need a purple site.
Well, you can't with Aetna Medicare Solutions.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting because if social media becomes partisan and divided, is any one company going to be big enough to be self-sustaining? Because Twitter has a hard time making money now. Facebook, they're making ridiculous money, but they were losing a lot of ad revenue too.
And Twitter tries to do the Twitter blue, and people were already leaving because of that.
Yeah, they were already.
And now this. So I don't know. Or it could go the other way. And if you thought it was a shit show before, it's going to be even a shittier show. Because people who are getting away with bad behavior before are going to get away with much worse behavior now.
People who live on Twitter have figured out how to exploit tattling basically on Twitter. We've seen it. This is how the lynch mobs form, and a lot of times, we've had this. We have bad actors, jump into our mentions, our timelines, and try to get us to say something or do something to get us banned. And they know how to play the game. And I just have to wonder if this is just going to give them another set of tools to use to get rid of people.
Well, in Twitter's favor, to give them credit where it's due, I had some issues and they did fix it. I had some people that were really, really, really bad, and they did take care of banning them. So, there's that. And I don't normally do that, but it was egregiously bad.
Oh yeah, we've had some crazy ass people. Yeah, it's interesting though. We talked about in comics, a lot of people were leaving Twitter, before any of this. People have been leaving for months, and especially public personalities like comic book artists, because they are getting canceled all the time on Twitter. Maybe it's time to leave Twitter.
Yeah.
I've talked about it before. I want to leave. I'm afraid of leaving you there, but I hate it.
It's fine. But at this point in time, I just think everybody should get their popcorn.
Yeah.
And watch what goes down, because I think it's gonna watch the stocks, and I think it's just gonna be interesting to see how this all spirals into the ground, and then
Dead bird.
Dead bird, yeah.
Dead bird. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.